Y'all might want to join me as I dive into the challenge of uncovering how to tap into 24 trillion farming assets that will be up for grabs over the next 20 years. Did y'all know farming assets play a critical role in the economic landscape? Over the next 2 decades, they're expected to take center stage. With the world's expected population to reach 9.7 billion by the year 2050, the food for demand is going to skyrocket, making the farming assets a hot commodity. The crazy thing is that farmers today are up in age and can barely take care of the land that they have, let alone the animals and the crops that they have out there. Some of the farmers are the only ones taking care of these crops, and we got these billionaire people from who knows where coming in, writing checks to these elderly farmers, putting information in their mailbox so they can reach out to them so they can make a quick sale. Some of the elderly people are not sure what to do with their land. They don't have children. They don't have anybody to pass it down to. So when somebody comes in with a high price check to give to them for their property, they're up and selling and going to live somewhere. So if anything happens to them, they don't have to worry about anything because everything is taken care of. Now, with that being said, if you're anything like me and you want land so you can start farming, raising your own fruits and vegetables, raising your own meats, and even just giving back to the community, whether you want to do a farm stand or sell to the local markets or even give crops and fruits and vegetables to the pantries, then you want to look into some of this land that is going to be up for grabs over the next 20 years, because if we don't, the other people will. We're going to be limited to what we have in the U.S. So what I know you're like, okay, well, how did you find your land, Shay? And let me tell you, I found my land simply by looking on Facebook Market and searching land for sale, owner finance land for sale. I did look on Zillow. I did Google land for sale. But the main thing that you want to search for is land for sale in rural areas. And when I say rural areas, I mean like 20 minutes, 30 minutes away from the local city that surrounds that rural area. So you want to do that because if you don't, you're limited on what kind of animals you can have on that farmland or how many crops you can grow, or you don't want to be limited to what you can do with that land because you're too close to the city. So you want to kind of go on the CAD, look up land in that county, reach out to the agriculture people, reach out to somebody in that county to see what you can and what you can't have on that property in your area or in the area that you're looking at. You also want to make sure you drive to that property that you are thinking about buying so you can kind of get the feel for what you want to do with it. Because when we bought this property, we came out here, remind you, if you watch some of my other videos, this wasn't cleared. So we really didn't have a good picture on what to do with it. But when we walked it and we walked the entire property, we got to feel, okay, we can do this, we can do this. There's a drop off back here. We can possibly put a tank back there. Oh yeah, we can expand with our family if we want to, put 5 homes on here for us and our children. We'll be able to live comfortable, even with a garden, even with our horses, even with sheep and cows and whatnot, because that is something that we can live off of in the future. And the way this economy is going, that is something that you are going to need, and that's something I am going to need, and that's what we are planning to do. And I recommend anybody interested in farmland to stop in these rural areas, because a lot of these elderly people don't know how to get on Zillow. They don't know how to get on Facebook and post their land for sale. They don't know how to send it to a realtor to post it for them. They don't know what to do, and then they don't have family to help them do it. So if you see somebody outside, you're riding around in the rural areas and you see somebody outside and they got 50 acres or more or less, and they're just outside, stop and talk to them. Don't be scared, because I'm one of them people that I can talk to anybody. So don't be scared. Talk to them and ask them what are their plans, in the future for their land. They might have kids, they might not. And if they got so much land that they're not doing anything with it, ask them if you can rent 5 acres. Ask them if you can rent 10 acres. And they might say yes. If they do say yes, go in deeper. Ask them, can I rent to own? Can I pay you so much money every month and it goes towards me owning a part of this property? That way you can have something of your own in the future. Ask them, do you mind if I start farming on this part of the land? Do you mind if I bring cows in on this part of the land? Do you mind if I bring a tiny home in or if I build a house? You need to ask them type of questions because they might say yes. And it does not hurt to ask. They can only say yes or no. And you don't stop at one person. If you get a no 3 times in a row, continue to ask. Because your yes might be number 5 or your yes might be number 3. You never know. So don't be scared. Start reaching out to some of the elderly people because I'm telling you, the way the economy is going now, the way the population is growing, the way they're putting up all these houses right side to side, we are going to run out of food. Food is going to be so expensive to purchase. We are not going to have enough water. I just suggest y'all to reach out to them and do it. And if you don't have the money to do so, we bought this land owner finance. We put $10,000 down, and that's how we purchased it. And we pay monthly payments. Now, you can go onto USDA and look up farm credit, and you can go finance land. That owner of that property might just sell it to you outright. They'll rather sell it to you than selling it to some big timer that want to put 50 houses or 100 houses on their property. So it does not hurt to ask. So what I want y'all to do is get on Google, get on Facebook Market, get on Zillow, and look at some of these properties in the rural areas. Drive around the country, see if you see anybody outside, and ask them what their plans is in the future for their land. Because you never know. Your next property might be 20 minutes away. So go ahead and do that search and don't be afraid. So I want to thank y'all for taking the time out to watch this video. And if you like more videos like this, comment down below because I do have a ton of information to give to y'all. And I look forward to seeing y'all in the next video. Bye, y'all.